Since childhood, we are told that family is the closest bond, and we carry this as an axiom until life shows us otherwise. More often than not, the sharpest lessons come from those whose last names stand beside ours. It raises a question: why? The answer is simple and mature. Relatives are not given to us as soulmates, but as teachers. What does this mean in practice? Blood relatives are mentors on the path of the soul. Through them we take our tests. At the border of independence, honesty with oneself, loyalty to our path, freedom of choice, and maturity in love. For some, family is a soft harbor, a place where you learn trust, support, and acceptance. For others, it's a tough training ground, where you're taught to say no, set boundaries, break dependencies, and become emotionally and financially independent. Neither path is good or bad. On a soul level, they are simply different growth programs: emotional, spiritual, practical, and even economic, when life and money push you toward maturity and self-reliance. There are 4 roles relatives often play. Mirror. They reflect what you don't want to see in yourself: resentment, fear, the need for approval. Trigger. They press painful buttons so you wake up and stop living by someone else's script. Trainer. They create situations so demanding that you can't survive without discipline and responsibility. Guide. Sometimes soft, angelic presences offer a shoulder, helping you learn to trust the world and yourself. The personal traits of a relative: kind, harsh, understanding, critical. That's just the form. The content is your lesson. You either pass it or postpone it for retake. Why does this not cancel love, but remove expectations? We often suffer not because of who people are, but because of what we expect. We think family is supposed to understand us on a soul level, but their real task is not to validate your uniqueness, it's to temper your inner core. When you stop demanding that your relatives be soul twins, maturity and calmness arrive. You begin to thank them, even for the tough lessons. You stop fighting for recognition. You stop blaming and begin choosing what to carry forward from your lineage and what to complete. Sometimes you meet a total stranger and feel an instant sense of familiarity, warmth, expansion, and ease in your body. With them, no explanation is needed. You are already understood. This is the signal of a soul connection, a resonance of meaning, vibration, and shared path. A soul connection doesn't have to be a spouse or someone related by blood. It's the one with whom the battle to be yourself disappears. No one tries to fix the other. Growth happens naturally, side by side. Why don't our relatives understand us? Why do you care more about a stranger than your own? Because to them he is a stranger on paper, but to you, he's part of your path. Different coordinate systems. To blood relatives, roles and rules matter. To a soul connection, essence and freedom. This isn't about betraying your family. It's about being honest with yourself. Soulful closeness doesn't have to align with family ties. And that's okay. Relatives are teachers and trainers of the path. They initiate your lessons and awaken your maturity. Soulmates are fellow travelers, with whom you breathe freely and become more of who you are. Once you separate these roles inside yourself, the chronic pain of expectation disappears. Gratitude and clarity arrive. Gratitude to your family, for the fire they forged you in. Gratitude to yourself, for choosing to stay true to your soul. And to those you recognize with your heart, for being the light on your road. A soul connection is someone whose inner field begins to resonate with yours in perfect harmony. It's a person you feel as if you've known forever, even if you just met. There's no struggle for roles between you, only the sense that you're playing the same game, moving in the same flow. How do you recognize a soul connection? An illogical encounter. You may meet them by chance, but inside there's a feeling. I've been waiting for this. A feeling of lightness. You don't need to pretend. You can be your true self, without masks, without filters. A deepening of meaning. Even small talk with a soul connection fills you, rather than drains you. The energy of growth. This connection pushes you forward. You start seeing the world more openly, believing in yourself more deeply. What's the difference between a soul connection and a family member teacher? Relatives often challenge you to grow through discomfort and pain. A soul connection creates a space where you grow through joy, trust, and support. Why does a soul connection often feel like a stranger? Because paradoxically, they often share no common blood, name, or origin with you. They may appear in another country, in another culture. But when you meet them, you know, this is my person. And that's key. Independence. It's important not to confuse a soul connection with emotional attachment. A soul connection doesn't drain you. They don't pull you down. They expand you. There's one beautiful law. A soul connection never shows up before its time. You can wish for it, dream of it, ache from loneliness. But until your own foundation is built, the meeting won't happen. A soul connection appears when you are ready, when you've learned to stand on your own, when you no longer seek a savior but a mirror, when you stop waiting for someone to fill the emptiness, and instead create wholeness within yourself. And just then, someone arrives, not to complete you, but to amplify what's already awakened. They're not a reward for your suffering, but the next level of the game. You've passed the lessons given by the teacher relatives. You've grown. You've made sense of it all. And now, the world opens a new door. Sometimes people confuse a soul connection with an illusion, someone who triggered an old wound or evoked intense emotion. But the difference is simple. If after spending time with them you feel drained, that's not a soul connection. If you feel inspired, at peace, and more fully yourself, that's it. That's the real thing. A soul connection is a mirror. They don't make you someone else, and they show you who you truly are. And that's why beside them you expand, not shrink. There's one paradox. You can't search for a soul connection. You can't spot them in a crowd, filter them by profiles, or beg the universe out of desperation. A soul connection appears only when you stop seeking outside and start seeking inside. Your life is a frequency. If you live in fear, resentment, and blame, you will attract people who amplify that. But if you live in joy, in presence, in acceptance, then that is the wave that will draw the one who resonates with you. Many believe a soul connection must be a romantic partner, a love until the end story. But it might be a friend, a teacher, a child. A soul connection is someone who makes you feel, I've known you forever, even if you're meeting for the first time. You might experience passionate relationships full of drama and emotional storm and think, this must be destiny. But it's not. A soul connection doesn't break you. They help you come back together, into wholeness. The search for a soul connection begins with the search for yourself. Only when you become your own true companion. When you stop betraying yourself and start walking your path. Only then does the possibility arise to meet the one who walks beside you. When a soul connection enters your life, and it's not just a meeting, it's a shift of script. Imagine your life as a branch of a tree. You walk along it, predictable, familiar, work, routines, same faces. Then someone appears, and everything begins to change. You look at them and think, I don't want to live the way I used to. A soul connection is a portal. They pull you into a new branch of reality, one where you can no longer be who you were. Beside them, you awaken new dimensions of yourself you never knew existed. You begin to see differently. Ordinary things gain new meaning. A simple day becomes rich with presence. Even a cup of coffee, a walk in the rain, everything deepens. A soul connection is a mirror of your future. They reflect who you could become. And sometimes that's scary, because suddenly you see your true potential. You look at them and know, this is my challenge, this is my light. And that's when the system, the matrix, starts to move. It begins drawing new circumstances for you, new people, new opportunities, new paths. Because reality shifts to match the frequency you and this person now emit together. A soul connection is not just a meeting. It's the moment your tree of destiny grows into a forest of possibility. A soul connection is a gift, but not one to hide away in a drawer. They are a key, one that opens you to a new reality. They don't come to be owned, they come to awaken you, and they're not required to stay forever. Their purpose is to remind you of your light, to awaken you, to show you a different level of life. They arrive as a signal. You are capable of more. You are not what you think you are. And if you try to hold on to them at any cost, they'll leave. Soul connections don't tolerate chains, because their mission is to set you free. Their power lies in freedom. Beside them, you must learn not to depend, but to grow. Not all soul connections stay in your life for long. Sometimes they're a fleeting moment, a flash that turns everything upside down. But that flash may change your entire path. You begin to seek depth, to step beyond limits, to live differently. Even if they leave, they never disappear. They remain inside you, in your changed vision, in the choices you now make, in the strength you've discovered. This is no longer about relationships. This is about your evolution. Soul connections are not meant to be caged. They're meant to help you remember yourself and keep walking your path. Thank you for being here, on this channel. I sincerely wish for each of you to meet your soul connection, that person with whom you feel not just support, but deep understanding, warmth, and strength. It is priceless to know that you are seen, heard, and accepted exactly as you are. And please remember, these meetings are never random, and every one of you is worthy of such a miracle. May your life be filled with harmony, light, and real souls walking beside you. Until next time, wishing you love, goodness, and your inner radiance. Take care.